Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. Such a beautiful Saturday. It's beautiful regardless what is happening around us, besides losing our loved ones, besides hearing other people that it doesn't matter even if they're not related or but we know them, even if we don't know them. Everyone's lives matter. Creating content, Basalwane, is very difficult because sometimes you have thought about this topic and you have brainstormed about it, but when for days and sometimes for weeks, and when you're about to do it, something just happens, and you know, and you have to immediately have to bounce back and get another topic. But what I want to talk about today, yesterday I was watching the blogger Owami Hlongwane. She was talking about she's getting divorced. This is the girl that loved her husband. She loved her husband. Everybody knew about that, and she was not ashamed about it. She used to talk how beautiful marriage is. She used to talk about the humble beginnings. She used to talk about how her husband was there for her when she started with blogging and everything. He was there. Their journey, which was very humble. Sometimes they'll go for days without food, and life was tough. And she's been doing very well. She's been doing very well. And lately she has not been posting the way she usually posts, because she reports mostly on news and everything. She has not been posting. And it was a shock. She was like, I need to live my truth the way I always say it. And I'm getting divorced. And she said it started in April. This journey is from April, and she's only telling people now. And she was saying that she found out that her husband was cheating. But when she breaks it down, she was talking about how her husband started to have inferior complex, how her husband will want her not to grow too much on YouTube because she's big on YouTube, how big she is, and how she will end up even giving him all her bank accounts for him to handle, how he must handle the finance, because she said that he also started to insinuate that she must limit herself so that the gap between them financially is not too much, and she will give him all the responsibility financially for him to handle so that maybe he will feel better, and she will just have one card from him, and most of the things she will have to consult him or ask him. And I had to I ask myself a lot of questions. I'm one person who believes that there are men who can handle women who are successful. Women have been doing it for themselves. That one I do believe. I don't believe in that slogan where women says they cannot have a partner because men are intimidated by them. But we cannot also take it for granted that some men, when they had a humble beginning with a woman, they wanted to stay where she was, like yesterday. They want the way she used to depend so much on him to always remain that way. And that's why it's very important as a couple. You need to evolve together. You need to evolve together. If the other one is into academics, also advance yourself in one way or another, because when the other one advance and they reach a certain point, it opens a gap, and another one will feel inferior. And most of the time it's men who feel inferior when a woman is become successful. His ego comes in. He wants to prove that he's still a man. He wants to prove that he's clever. He wants to prove that ndindoda mina, you know what I mean. And what men don't seem to understand is that when he allows a woman to thrive, when he allows you to be at your best element, it's even easier for you to be submissive to him. And submission, I'm not talking about oppression and anything. You will never undermine your husband or your partner. But when now it's a tag of war. The other one wants to prove that, who do you think you are? You are having this success. I'm still your husband. I'm still your man. You need to listen to me and all that. It is very sad. And you ask yourself that how many men I think women were flexible. Women, when our men thrive, we love it. My lipstick. When our partners they thrive, we like to see them happy. We get excited. It's excited. It's a we share in that joy. It's an adrenaline which you cannot explain. But many relationships and marriages have been broken when a woman is becoming the best of who she's supposed to be. When a woman is becoming the better version of herself, and you find that her partner, he is sitting there, he is sulking, he's starting to feel sorry for himself, he is starting now to find ways to oppress her. He's trying to find ways to abuse her. Sometimes it can even get physically or emotionally. You hear a lot of women, when a woman is doing well and a man will say, I don't know what you do at your work and the position that we have, because you are so stupid. You are so stupid. He will try to belittle that woman, that he will want to break her self-esteem. And things like that, it makes me I go back to reference, and I look at the people that I remember my grandfather once said something. My grandfather, he said, if it was not for your grandmother, maybe I wouldn't have had the kids who are the way they are and the way they are brilliant. And both my grandparents, they were very intelligent. Academically, they were doing well. Wisdom, they were well. But they had to be that balance. But I think as my grandfather got older, he realized the blessing my grandmother was. I don't forget those words when he said, if it was not for your grandfather, because my grandfather was so intelligent. You know, that person who's so intelligent that some people don't really understand him. And he said, if it was not for your grandmother, the way she is, the wisdom that she has, maybe I wouldn't have been who I am, and also my kids wouldn't have become who they are if it was not for your grandmother. Men need to start to look at their partners as assets, not as threats. Look at when your woman is thriving. Be happy. When in us in women, when your man is thriving, it's like an adrenaline. The happiness is beyond. You cheer for him. You get excited. I don't know if it's men upbringing. I don't know if it's men in the men DNA where they want to see you being here. I'm not saying all men, understand me. I never believe in that putting men in a blanket or people in a blanket statement and say all. No, I'm saying some men, but I think most men, they cannot cope when they see they find you on level 1, and now you are escalating to level 2, 3, 4. It starts being a problem. Now his ego needs to be boosted more. You need to reassure him all the time to say, love, I'm here. Love, my success is yours. Love, I still love you. Love, I'm submissive to you. Love, and sometimes that submission, because you want to compensate, may end up being an abuse, because you are trying to make him feel that you are still the same woman he loved, the same woman who was humble and all that. But Barcelona, when we have a partner, these are some of the things that we have to look at their reaction when you are becoming successful. Their reaction and their inputs and their values when you are starting to thrive, when you are starting to chase your dream. And even if you are living in your dream, how do they support you emotionally? It's so people underestimate the importance of your partner supporting you, cheering you on. A partner who say, love, well done, love, this you are in your element, love, I am so proud of you, love, But it seems like men, they struggle with it. And I ask myself, as you, where you are, where you have boys, How are you raising your boys? Are you raising your boys to say her success is not a threat to you? Her being the best version of herself, it doesn't mean it makes you weaker. Because I think sometimes our parents, they raise us, but without being intentional on how they raise us. They raise us on, you need to go to school, you must not get pregnant when you are not married, you need to get an education, you need to get a husband, you need to have a good job, you need to have a house, you need to have a car, you need to fear God, you need to respect your parents. But there are these gritty little things that I think they overlook, and it goes a long way. You see it even in the workplace, how sometimes when a girl is thriving, how men will behave, how men sometimes they will try to pin a woman down at work and to sabotage her. And you find you find men being difficult for them to submit to a woman. And remember, in a workplace, it's not a home where a woman needs to submit to a man. But in a workplace or in a country, you need to submit to the one who's in authority. And then now you realize, even when you meet a guy on the street and he's talking to you, and he's talking to you with that force, like he's entitled, like, who are you not to respond favorably when I'm talking to you? Who do you think you are? I'm a man. You need to listen to me. I'm talking to you. Men, they need to understand that the success of your partner, it's yours also. It's yours for you, her glory and everything that she comes with. It's yours also. But the problem is that you find that most women have had to belittle themselves. I don't know if belittle themselves is the right word. They had to play it down. They had to play it down so that the man feels better. If she's got the money, she will give him the card. So he's the one that is paying, so that his ego is not dented. Bazalwane, it is a problem, and this is across all races. It's all across all nations. It's not about black men. It's black men, white men, Indian, whatever, Asian, whatever that you can think, or European. It's across the board. You need to ask yourself as a man where you are. Are you there for your partner? When she's thriving, when she gets into a project and whatever, and she's doing well, do you cheer her on? Or when you are with the correction, you are sitting there with the correction to correct. Yeah, you were wrong. You should have done it like this. You shouldn't have done it like this. Hey, you think you are better. Hey, you think you are those women who... And I always say, when people talk about that women have not been in leadership position, I say, for me, it's a lie. I always refer to the vendor culture, because a king cannot be a king without bomakadzi. He can be at forefront, but it's the woman, it's bomakadzi who make decisions. It's bomakadzi who will influence everybody who's supposed to be the king. Even in church, you find it that as much as they are preachers and everything, but you find that they rely on women. They rely on women who are strong in the faith and everything, and they go to them in guidance. And when they reprimand them, and when there are things or crises in the church, they will call them and say, come and help. And even in the family settings, women are called. I don't know in your tribe. I don't know. When you go to the Bible, when you go religiously, women have been having position, and it's not a competition. Women have been ruling. Women have been women of influence. Christ was helped by women for his ministry to go. He was funded by women. Women were having businesses. They were taking money from their business for him to be able to travel and the disciples. And I don't know where this thinking that women are inferior. I'm not saying women. I, for myself, I'm not a feminist. I believe in human rights. I believe that men and women are equal. But I believe that men and women are made different and they bring different qualities and elements and value to the table. That's my belief. I don't know what you call that, but I don't like to call myself a feminist, because when I call myself a feminist, for me, which means I have to ignore my brothers, I have to ignore my uncles, I have to ignore my cousins, I have to ignore my nephews and everything, and push the girl child at front. Where else a girl and a boy and a girl, they have to go like this on their journey. They have to go like this on their journey. So you need to ask yourself, that's why you find women who have been in a relationship or who were married, and when they leave that marriage or that relationship, they thrive more. Ask yourself that question. Why they couldn't thrive then when they had a partner? We must not make it like to have a partner or marriage, it becomes a curse. It's not a curse. And I've seen people who have thrived in relationship and marriages. They become better because your partner wants you to thrive. Your partner is cheering you on. But how many of you cheer on your partners? How many of you are there, even when you correct her, when you say, love, I don't think this should be like that, and she hears you without being defensive? Don't put your partner to be defensive, or you make her to be in a passive mode, because she gets tired of being passive, and then she just keeps quiet and she just allows you to do whatever you want. Is that thing that even if she bought a car, she's gonna tell people that it's you who bought a car because she wants to boost your ego. If there's a TV and whatever, she has to tell people who are coming to visit that, oh, Mr. Spanibani, oh, my husband bought this TV, where else he didn't even buy it. He doesn't even know the price. But that's not the issue. But because she's trying to compensate and for home to have peace, and for people not to say, to automatically think that you bought it. A woman who is loved, she doesn't have to say she's loved. A woman where she's secured in a relationship, she doesn't have to be clinging and everything, because it is there automatically. But when she doesn't feel that security, she overcompensates. Because she has to boost his ego so that he feels like a man. A woman, it's not the responsibility of a woman to make a man feel like a man. It's not the responsibility of a woman to make you feel that you are enough. You should be enough on your own. And a man is not enough by how much he has in the bank. There are men who have supported their wives with almost nothing. And when she talks about her husband, and money never comes between them, her success never comes between them, because he thrives. He is the one that even if she's doing her master's or honors, her PhD, he will be the one to wake her up, buy her this food and whatever. And you find that he just did it's just got a ordinary qualification, or he's hustling his own thing. But he's not intimidated by her. He cheers hers on. Love, have you finished this? How far are you? He listens, even though he may not understand some of the things, but because the love that he has for her, he wants to support her. He's her pillar. He is her pillar. When she cannot manage, he is there to hold her. Mazalwane, this issue is deep. It's very deep, and I'm not coming here to bash men. I'm not coming to do that, because I hate bashing men. And I am so happy that Owami never bashed her husband when she was talking in that video. And she said, my success was because of that man. He's the one who made me to start YouTube, the support that he used to give me when we had nothing. The first phone that we used, it's him who bought it and sacrificed. And we had to move from a comfortable place and go to a place who was just for me to be able. But when I started to thrive and do better, it became a problem. My brothers, my uncles, my bras, my cousins, whatever that you are, my friend, when you love a woman, when you love her, her growth, it's your happiness. When she thrives, you must get excited. When she's doing better or she's got an idea, you must be the one to push and say, love, you can do better. You can even do better than me, the way I did it. Love, you are good in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your strength is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But not to be counting with you and your weakness. When you do this, no. Women have been prime ministers. Women have played the role of being kings. And they had husbands who were there to support them. The same way as women have been there. Yes, there have been women who have not really supported their husband. But naturally, women are supporters to their partners. I'm not saying all. So you need to ask yourself, it's the same thing if you are sick. If a man is sick, men, they want to be taken care of. A woman will be, love, I want this. Ooh, a woman will be running. She'll make sure that it's comfortable. But when a woman is sick, most of the time, men will just say, oh, you'll get better. You find that he's not even calling to find out, how are you? You told me that you were not well. How is it going? How are you feeling? Do you need anything? They're not interested. It's a burden. You're telling him a burden, and he doesn't want a burden. I can go on and on about this topic. I can go on and on. But let me just stop here today.